just checking out my blog to take you through some of the projects I've worked on, to give you a few ideas of coding projects you might want to start with. Um, my thing was when I first started coding, some of it was data analysis and like Excel with macros and stuff like that. But as I got into it, I started to get into more automation projects to save me time. And really, I think anybody can do it. So if you like know a smart like teenager, like this is not something that kids can't do with the proper guidance, the proper resources, or even just you if you've never coded before and you want to try it. Like to me, these were very worthy projects to take on. So I'm gonna just take you through some of the stuff I've done, just like overview of like my blog post and explain why I think these are like useful. So one of them was recently I did an AR project last year. In that project, what essentially I did was I created an app that can scan a logo that I decide and play a video. And I got the idea from Nipsey Hussle, um, RIP last year. He died in March. I actually didn't really become aware of him until after he died. Um, but that was very inspirational, like the stuff he was working on. And so that's a really cool app a regular team can do. I have a blog on it. Um, but I thought like his idea of creating a smart store with like in-store special features, special content to drive traffic to your retail location was something that was worthwhile, worth trying. And it actually exists. It's in production. I'm just waiting on some people to follow through so that it can actually get published and like promoted. Uh, if you don't know, data science is like my thing I'm interested in. So I've done a few projects, but I'm really looking for like the big one. Probably want to get involved in some Kaggle competitions, which is like a big data science thing. But I want to get more competent. Like a project or two probably isn't going to be enough for me to really like feel comfortable. So I know it's going to be like a long term thing for me to get into data science and AI, machine learning, deep learning, all that good stuff. But because I'm very data inclined, that's just something that you can look forward for me in the future. I probably won't be making many more new types of bots, but I probably will want to get into AI just because I like how it's smart. Automation is one thing, but AI is another. I have a few other marketing things, but let me get into like my coding projects. So let me see. Some more analytics things. Blah 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 blah. So go to a few older posts. Okay, automation. So in this blog post, I kind of talked about like enterprise automation, which is what you'll probably find like working at a corporation or a small medium sized business, and like the tools you make for yourself. So I've done a lot of automation on my own, mostly with Python, but I've used paid tools as well, stuff like import.io for like web scraping and like the benefits. Like I said, for specific project types that you can use with automation, like I've scraped Google Shopping to find competitive prices, or I've created like headless Chrome web drivers using like Selenium, things like that, and Beautiful Soup, all those kinds of things to do things like apply for jobs, like go on job postings, and like basically you create a template. Why sit there, doing if you know you have hundreds or thousands of submissions to make? Why sit there for hours repeating yourself like a robot when you can just make a bot to do it for you? So web drivers are great for either scraping information off of a web page and putting it into like a format that's usable, like an Excel spreadsheet, or actually entering information into like websites to submit things, right? So those are like my early coding projects that were pretty cool. What else? What other automation? Oh, serverless code on Lambda. So this is like my most recent project. I have a few bots I made, but basically it's a step up from the WebDriver, like the headless Chrome WebDriver, Chromium, or for Firefox. Goodness, I can't think of the name right now for the Firefox Chrome driver. I think it's called. that run on your laptop, right? So they only run when your computer's on, when your internet's connected. Well, I had wanted to take it a step further and have basically remote control, and that's what serverless code does that you run on Amazon Web Services, the Lambda service. What I actually end up realizing is the configuration of your your bot on a platform like this is actually harder than actually coding the bot in the first place. So like the Python code that I ran on my own computer with my web drivers was way easier to do than actually configuring it, figuring out how to configure it on AWS with Lambda. Um, so that's why I made a video for this. You can check it out on YouTube. And like I said, here's automating for fun and profit using Python and Selenium. This is like one of my earliest coding projects. Um, you can use it for lots of things, getting contact information for business purposes or whatever, for promotions, for campaigns, just things that you don't want to do manually in mass amounts. This is the app. This is another thing I'm working on. I made a Twitter clone. It's not necessarily automation, but it's a great coding project. I figure eventually I want to create a service for some of the stuff I'm doing, and to do that, I need a user interface. Right? I can make the code and run it myself, but if I was ever to create something for other people to use, like my AR app, right? I need to be able. Personally want to be able to create something from scratch, from the ground up, at least an MVP. And to do that, I'm gonna have to know front end. So I made a Twitter clone using Vue.js. It's far from perfect, but it is basically functional. And so that's gonna be another thing along with AI that I'll be pursuing in the future. Other kinds of cool projects. So this is just like the timeline version. I basically broke this Twitter clone into parts. The navigation bar at the top, the timeline where your actual posts go, and this is how to upload your app to the Play Store. So I already have my AR app on Google Play. Um, I just haven't like made it public because I'm basically waiting for someone I know to give me the video that goes along with it, right? But like theoretically, I could release it today if I wanted. But I'm waiting for someone else to have the content. But the functionality is there. APIs connecting to Twitter via Postman. I really don't remember this one much, but it wasn't like very impactful on me. It was just something to do. K-means, so this is some AI data science stuff. K-means clustering. I tried this on a certain data set, didn't tell me much about it. So, you know, I guess that's just how it goes. You're not always gonna, it's not like a magic bullet, but it was worth testing out for me. What else? Let's look at some older posts for projects. So I don't really include like my data analysis or my Google Analytics or Excel stuff as coding projects. Uh, I kind of separate them in my mind into data analysis project because you're not technically using like a scripting language or whatever. You know, a programmer wouldn't consider that code probably. So although you can use some like JavaScript in Google Tag Manager, so I do use that sometimes. So those are like my big ones. I just wanted to share that with you guys. If any of you were looking for project ideas, I basically use code to like learn new skills and solve problems I have or save me time. Um, but you know, you can use it to create things, create services, all that kind of good stuff. If you have any questions for me, you could feel free to leave me a comment. But that's how I use coding. I don't know how everyone else approaches it. I know that I'm not like a pure um, developer geek. I don't do it for fun. Um, I do it basically in a way that's going to be practical. So, hope that helps you guys. If you see this here on my blog, I have a link straight to the YouTube channel. Feel free to check it out. You click here, it's going to take you to this page, which you can then click and go to the Data Boy blog YouTube channel straight from the blog. I got a few videos up right now. Some of them are analytics based. My Twitter by AWS is there, and this one will be next. So take care. See you guys soon. Have a good day.